Good morning and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works. Today is Monday, June 12th, 2017.
Commissioner Rivas, Vice President Repenning, Commissioner Davis, Commissioner Jacinto is present. Vice President Repenning, we do have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning. Mahmoud Karimzadeh, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning. Brett McReynolds, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning. Ruben Flamenco, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning. Craig Shaw, Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning. Ali Posti, Bureau of Sanitation.
Good morning. Lori Rittenberg, City Attorney.
Dr. Campos, Executive Officer, Vice President Repenning. We do not have any comment cards under General Public Comment, no commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section, and we also do not have any comment cards or speaker cards on any of the items.
Okay, hearing no speaker cards on general public comments, let's go ahead and close public comment, and let's also close the Neighborhood Council commentary as well. A housekeeping item, agenda item number 4, we are going to go ahead and continue. And let's go ahead and take agenda item number 2. Actually, I'd like to go ahead and approve the minutes for the meeting of Friday, May 19th, 2017. Seconded by Commissioner Davis and Commissioner Rivas. Those minutes have been approved. Let's go ahead and go to agenda item number 2. It is an authority for expenditure for Sprint Communications Company, LP, Soto Street Bridge over Valley Boulevard and Union Pacific Railroad widening project, recommending the board authorize payment of Sprint utility location final invoice in the amount of $66,019.24. I have Mr. Adolfo Gutierrez on agenda item number 2. Hi, good morning.
Good morning. I'm here to present for the Bureau of Engineering and Bridge Improvement Division to authorize the payment of the Sprint utility relocation for the project Soto Valley Bridge widening project. This project will widen the Soto Street Bridge by approximately 25 feet on the west side of the bridge, and it'll provide wider sidewalks, shoulders, and 2 lanes in each direction on that bridge. And this invoice basically is covering the relocation of the fiber optic lines, and these were necessary for the construction of the spread footing for the widening portion of the project.
Okay. Colleagues, any questions? Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you, Vice President Repenning. Mr. Gutierrez, this is your first time presenting in front of
Yes.
us. Welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so the cost for the relocation will be reimbursed to the city by Caltrans, correct?
Yes.
So basically fronting and doing the work that needs to be done to complete this project.
Correct.
Great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that a motion, Commissioner Jacinto? So moved, seconded by Commissioner Davis. The AFE will be approved. Any objections to sending it forthwith? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and send the AFE forthwith. Thank you. I see some folks in the back that I recognize. Why do you guys always sit in the back? Bureau of Sanitation, Meritorious Achievement Certificate for Mr. Michael C. Herrera. Pepe Garcia, come on down. I hope this isn't a retirement. Good. No one's allowed to retire.
Good morning, Commissioners, Bureau heads. Usually I'm up here talking about clean streets, but today I'm very honored to present to you Mr. Michael Herrera, who is this institution of sanitation, a trash man, especially for veterans like Mr. Herrera, who's been with the Bureau for 29 years. You become part of the community. You become, it's like the old milkman and the mailman, and you become attached to the residents, and the kids grow up right in front of you, right, Mike?
That's a true statement.
So you become part of the community, and you become one with, and you notice everything that's going around you, and you take it to heart because it is your community, the residents of the city of LA. So let me tell you a little bit about Mike. Again, he started in February of 1989, 29 years at the West Valley District, and he has performed duties from every type of truck, especially back in the day when we were throwing trash by hand. All those days of labor, again, becoming part of the community. And so Mike is well deserving of any recognition today of his deeds on this particular day. I'm going to let him explain exactly what happened, but just briefly, he came to the aid of a resident who would have otherwise probably been alone out there without Mr. Herrera paying attention to his surroundings, again, involving himself in the community and understanding, what was going on out there. So, Mr. Herrera, I believe he's very deserving of any recognition of making a difference and going above and beyond the call of duty. So I'm going to turn it over to him, and then I'd like to read what you guys wrote in here. It actually summarizes it better than what I wrote.
Michael Herrera, yes. Good morning,
I'm
sir.
humble to be in these halls and before this board. I thank you. On that morning, I came across a resident, and we acknowledged each other, and I waved, he waved back. He was in the garage. I was out in the street in a collection. I went up the street, came back down, and I came back, and I found him in distress in the middle of the street. At that point, I jumped out of the truck, and I had just lost my father. So when I came to him, he had the same look, and he just had a look of distress in his eyes. And when I went out to reach for him, he kind of ran from me and fell, and he cracked his head open on the pavement. But I rendered aid, at that moment, and I was holding on to him, and but I had no cell phone, nothing on me, and no cars were coming out, no residents were coming out, nothing. It just seemed odd at that moment, and so I left him for a really short period and knocked on the door of the house he was at, and his wife, I ran back to the street where he was at, and I just cradled him, and I held on to him. His wife came out, and she saw us out there, and she was just like, "What happened?" And at that point, I instructed her to call 911, and I just held on to him. She had a dishcloth, and I put it up to his head because it had been split open, and I just held on to him and just rendered aid, and I spoke with him, trying to calm him, but it was just a weird event that happened, and like I said, I'm humbled to be before you.
Well, we are humbled.
But just
Yes.
to add to Mr. Herrera's commitment to the residents of LA, a week after and ever since, he has followed up with the resident and the family, who are more than grateful, just unanimously appreciative of his efforts, because of the situation where there's no traffic. Who knows when someone might have seen him or rendered aid to him. So.
Thank you.
May I read this?
Yes, please do, Pepe.
So this is a certificate of meritorious achievement from the Board of Public Works, which honors Michael Herrera, refuse collection truck operator, Solid Resource Valley Collection Division, for your selfless act during a time of crucial circumstances. Your quick thinking and heroic actions played a critical role in perhaps saving the life of a constituent of the city of Los Angeles by aiding a resident that suffered a stroke in the street. We would like to express our gratitude and commend you your honorable deed, as you are an admirable colleague and a reflection of the great city of LA.
Thank you. That's all I can say.
Here and listen.
So I think we'd like to say some words, and then we'll go ahead and take a photo. Commissioner Davis?
Yeah, Mr. Herrera, I first of all would like to certainly commend you for your act of heroic activities in saving the life of a neighbor. And I think what is really key here is your character. And when we hire people, we hire them primarily for knowledge and skill. And obviously we expect them to act reasonably. But one of the things that we never can prepare for is the outstanding character that is uniquely and innately embedded in a person's character. And so we are very proud of what you have done. It is certainly far and beyond the call of duty. And it is individuals like you that help make Los Angeles great. So I can't thank you enough for being the person that you are, and it supersedes any knowledge and skill that you may give the Bureau. So thank you for being you.
Commissioner Rivas.
I'm very proud of what you did, and I'm sure while you're out there, you have time and deadlines to meet, in terms of your work, but you immediately jumped out of the truck not thinking about your own work, just thinking about this man that really needed you at that time. So I'm very proud, and thank you for doing that, and just giving sanitation a good name in the community, right? Because people remember those actions. So thank you.
Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you. Mr. Herrera, in this time of craziness, of division, and of, a lot of division, you came and you just were human. You're a human being, wanting to care for somebody as you talked about your own father. And so when you could do that, when you can be human, doing your job and putting all those things together and providing comfort, because as Commissioner Davis said, you probably saved his life. That's what's right about this city and about our department and our bureau. So thank you so much for being authentically human and compassionate and just taking care of that gentleman. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And I just want to say, Michael, that we are really grateful to the work that you've done. To me, I mean, you guys are already heroes. Not, like whether or not you encounter any extraordinary situations, you're heroes just by virtue of the work you do every day, getting up early, making sure that that things are running and that our neighborhoods are being taken care of so that people have the basic conditions to carry on the quality of life and to try to reach the goals that they, in many cases, have come to Los Angeles or have worked so hard to reach. So I want to thank you just for your work every day. But on this extraordinary day, you were faced with an emergency and you just responded quickly, without hesitation, with courage. And you've made a big difference for the family of the man that you helped care for his loved ones, and you've set a great example for what it means to really be part of the city, not just in a sense of to work for the city, but as you know, all of our public works employees, but especially you guys at sanitation, you're so embedded in our neighborhoods, and this is just a great example of what it means to truly be part of the community and to go above and beyond. So we are really grateful for you today, and just want to thank you for your extraordinary efforts. If you will, Pepe, yes.
An additional congratulations for Mr. Herrera's recent promotion to refuse collection crew instructor.
Congratulations.
He will be able to rub some of those traits onto all the new drivers that come on board.
Congratulations. So train them well, and I am very glad that this is not a retirement. I see we have some years left with you, so.
Yes. No, like I said, I always come to work with great enthusiasm and a great love for sanitation. It's been a part of my family and part of just my life, and all these gentlemen that you see behind me, supporting me. We've all come through the ranks. They've gone a lot faster. I'm a slow learner, I guess, but I finally, I'm at my dream position. I finally achieved it, but I'm just glad to be still a part of sanitation because I love this department so much, and I'm just glad to be part of the city.
Thank you. We'd love to take a photo with you over here, and if we could get all the chiefs down. Come on back, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. Well, that was a very nice way to start the week. Let's go ahead and move on to agenda item number 1. It is Council Districts 1 and 13. Project approval for the Taylor Yard Bikeway Pedestrian Bridge over the Los Angeles River project, recommending the board follow the requirements of CEQA, adopt and forward this report and transmittals, recommending that City Council, number 1, review and consider the mitigated negative declaration. Number 2, find that on the basis of the whole record, there is no substantial evidence that the project will have a significant effect on the environment and that the MND reflects the city's independent judgment and analysis. Number 3, adopt the MND. Number 4, adopt the mitigation monitoring and reporting program. Number 5, approve the project as described in the initial study. Number 6, specify that the documents constituting the record of proceedings in this matter are in the custody of the city clerk located at 200 North Spring Street and in the files of the Department of Public Works Bureau of Engineering located at 1149 South Broadway. And number 7, instruct BOE to notify the Metropolitan Transportation Authority and the Department of Water and Power of this action. I have here on number 1, Noor?
Yes.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning. My name is Noor Malhis. I'm from the Bureau of Engineering, Architectural Division. The project is analyzed by the ISMND, Initial Study Mitigated Negative Declaration, is a 400-foot long pedestrian bridge, bikeway pedestrian bridge, linking Elysian Valley to Cypress Park. On the south side, it connects, the south abutment lands on the LA River Greenway Trail, and on the north abutment lands where Taylor Yard is. Additional improvements include some ADA-compliant access ramps on Riverdale Avenue and Dallas Street, which is along the LA River Greenway Trail, and also on Kerr Road, which connects the touchdown of where the bridge is all the way to San Fernando Road. Additional improvements include some two-way or a bicycle and pedestrian route 2 lanes so we can have a full connection all the way from the south to the north. The total project construction budget, including contingency, is $19.2 million. Funding for the construction will be provided by Metro, and the design is currently funded by Metro and Department of Water and Power. A design for this project is anticipated to be completed by December of 2017. Now I'm going to hand it over to Norman Mundy from the Environmental Management Group to talk about public participation and public review for this ISMND.
Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Norman Mundy, Bureau of Engineering, Environmental Management Group. And pursuant to the California Environmental Quality Act, we prepared an initial study on the project. The initial study concluded that mitigated negative declaration would be the appropriate CEQA document. We circulated the initial study and MND to the public last fall, received comments on the document. None of the comments affected the conclusions in the ISMND that the project with mitigation would not result in any significant impacts to the environment. And we're asking now that your board forward the document to the City Council and request that they make the required CEQA findings, adopt the MND and the mitigation monitoring and reporting program, and approve the project. And if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you. Colleagues, any questions? Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you. Norman and Noor, appreciate the report. And I was going through the transmittal of the CEQA, 600 pages, and there was a lot of information. One, the project is significant because it ties our LA River in terms of recreational, pedestrian, and bike, and emergency vehicles. So that's the overall plan, to make the LA River more accessible and connecting the dots, so to speak. So I totally support the scope of work. What I found extraordinary was, the responses to the letters from, Cal State DOT, the Department of Fish and Wildlife, Native American Heritage Commission, Bike Coalition, MRCA, Gabrielino Band, and individuals. We were able to respond to all of them, basically with the sense that we're going to try to work with all the parties involved. Some, there was no impact at all, and others, we will continue to work with the community, which is always a challenge and the opportunity. So I think we did a good job here, and we don't take CEQA lightly. CEQA is there to guide our efforts to make sure we're doing things in the best and most environmental way. So I support this. Thank you guys for your work on this.
Yeah, thank you. The Bureau of Engineering does recognize that this bridge will be an important part of the overall development of Los Angeles River area, which is underway now, and so we're looking forward to contributing to that overall development.
Thank you. And just to clarify this, so the construction, design and environmental were funded by Metro and DWP, and the construction is funded fully by Metro?
Yes.
Okay. And who's going to be able to cross this bridge?
Well, everybody.
People?
Yeah, pedestrians and bicyclists.
Horses?
Horses, unfortunately not.
Okay.
But technically they could, but it's not made for them.
Dogs?
Dogs, yes.
Cats?
Cats, everybody.
I always joke that, well, we were talking about it in Hollywood for a while. We were talking about building a cat park, which would be capping the 101 freeway and building a park, and people always joke that it was like cat park, like instead of a dog park. But it's funny because cats would never want to go to a park. They would be trying to get out because they're not social like dogs. Okay, anything else can cross the bridge? Bikes?
Yes, bikes, pedestrians. It's 18 feet wide, so essentially anything. I mean, we also designed it for, ambulances and also emergency vehicles, so it can take a pretty heavy load.
Okay, great. And we are anticipating design to be done by the end of this year.
Correct.
When are we anticipating a groundbreaking?
During the summer of 2018.
Okay, and a ribbon cutting?
A ribbon cutting, December 2020 or January of 2021.
So about a year and a half construction.
Well, 2.5 years.
2.5 years, okay.
Yeah, that's the current schedule.
Okay, Commissioner Davis.
I have a minor question. In terms of the design of the bridge, in terms of the sidewalks, are we intending on having walkways on both sides of the bridge, or do you happen to know?
Oh, it's only on one side of the bridge. Have walkways, yeah. 18 feet wide, and then 12 and 6, or 12.5 with a 1 foot buffer. So 12 for the bicycles and 5 feet for the pedestrians, and then 1 foot buffer in between.
And how do we determine whether it's 1 or 2
Oh, 1 or 2.
sidewalks on the bridge?
Oh, I believe it's a standard just to have, if there's a combined multi-use, just one side will be, they usually have split in between one side, but we would have the walking, and then the other side would be the bicyclists.
Thank you very much. We look forward to this bridge. It will be a great addition to a number of amenities that are being planned for kind of the central stretch of the LA River. Thank you very much for your work on the design and environmental clearance, and we look forward to the ribbon cutting, to the groundbreaking first, and then the ribbon cutting.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks very much. Do I hear a motion? Commissioner Jacinto, seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objections to sending it forthwith? Okay, the report will be adopted and sent forthwith. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll move on to agenda item number 3. This is Council District 1, Task Order Solicitation number 01-033B, AMEC Foster Wheeler Environment and Infrastructure Incorporated, AMEC, Geotechnical Services for the North Central Animal Care Center Phase 2 project, recommending the board, number 1, authorize the city engineer to issue the task to AMEC from the pre-qualified on-call geotechnical consultants list to provide construction observation and testing services for the project as stated in the task order solicitation number 01-033B with a budget authority of $140,759,000, which includes contingency. I have Easton Forcier from the Bureau of Engineering. Hi.
Morning, thank you. Yeah, this project's going to start or go to construction probably within the next couple months. It's a very complicated site, at least from the geologic conditions. There is an existing facility, animal care facility that's there right now. The site was used historically as a waste dump for street waste. So it is underlain by approximately 35 to 40 feet of inert debris landfill material. There's been some settlement issues with the existing facility, and part of this project is in addition to an expansion of for the new facility, we're also going to try to tackle the mitigation of settlement within the building and kennel area. So again, it is kind of a complicated project, and in terms, there was a component of design build, so the selected consultant, hopefully AMEC, will be working closely with the contractor to try to come up with a reasonable approach, practical and cost effective. We sent the TOS out to all 15 firms on our list. We received 6 proposals back. We had 3 Bureau of Engineering staff members review and rate those proposals, and AMEC was determined to have the best proposal, which also coincided with they were the most for best value. In terms of the Meeby-Weeby, I realize I want to make it clear, they're not shooting for the bare minimum here. This wasn't a well-defined task, so they know they can exceed 12 and 2. So they're going for that. They expect to exceed it, but because it's not a well-defined task, and especially particularly with this design-build component to it, they want to make sure that they exceed those levels. So they didn't want to shoot for the stars and then come in low. And then again, with contingency, we are requesting the base task was approximately $117,299, and we have a little bit extra normally than we would have for a contingency, simply because of the unknowns, the site conditions. And again, there is no impact to the general fund. Any questions on this?
Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you. Easton, where is the money coming from, sir?
Money is coming from fund, I guess is your question.
Source.
The source? I have to check. I know I mean, I have an appropriation number in here, but in terms of your specific question.
Could you follow up with me?
Yeah, I will for sure.
With us on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Rivas.
When you say that it wasn't a well-defined task, is it because there are you may have answered it already, but because there's some unknowns, or how does that, why isn't it a well-defined task, is my question.
We know that we want to mitigate the existing settlement issues within the animal care facility and the kennel. We also know how we're going to get there is going to be, when I say not well-defined, that's the component we're talking about. And again, there's a design-build component within this. It was bid out that way. But there's a number of different ways we can tackle this. We're looking at possibly doing ground improvement, deep foundations, a combination. So ultimately, how we get there, we don't know yet. But we know the end result, or what we want to achieve.
And it's all within the same task order?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to capture everything. In addition to doing the typical geotechnical construction monitoring for the new expansion. So again, the construction, the overall project is to try to take care of everything, do the new expansion, mitigate the settlement, and then move out.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis.
Did we reach our goal on...
Your mic, sir.
Did we reach our goal on the diversity MSN? This is a local funded project, right? It's not federally funded at all, right?
No, this is yes, correct.
Okay.
Your question, did we reach out to, sorry?
No, I was asking about the diversity in subcontracting on the project.
Yes. Yeah, they are proposing to use, they have 3 sub-consultants, and they know that they will achieve or exceed 12 and 2 MB and WB respectively. But in terms of clearly nailing it down, they didn't want to do that simply because it isn't a well-defined task.
Got it.
I think that is actually looks like a pretty good commitment. It's not a lot of money, but we do appreciate those numbers. Can you talk a little bit about the site conditions, 35 to 40 feet of landfill material?
Yeah, and just to be clear, it is inert debris landfill material. It's not municipal waste. But my understanding is back in the 30s, possibly the 40s, it was used as a waste dump facility for inert debris from street waste, asphalt, concrete, rock. There's some tree. I mean, we found a bunch of different stuff when we were drilling. So there is, and again, I guess when the Arroyo Seco was constructed, it wasn't uncommon to do that. And now they've decided they have a flat, or I guess back in the existing facility was built in the 80s, and they now had a nice big flat building pad to put a building on, and they were aware of the issues. I just don't think they were aware of the outcome of the issues.
Mm-hmm. How unusual is it to find previous, debris, or that there had been some amount of disposal on a site that we're using?
From my line of work, not uncommon at all.
Okay.
This thick, certainly it's not typical.
Okay.
You usually don't find 35 to 40 feet of landfill material.
And what type of animals will be cared for in the facility?
When I was there, it was mostly dogs and cats.
Horses?
A lot of pit bulls. I didn't see any horses.
All righty, sir. Any other questions, colleagues? Thank you very much, Mr. Forcier. Is there a motion on agenda item number 3? Commissioner Jacinto, seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objections to adopting this item and sending it forthwith? Hearing none, we'll go ahead, adopt, and send forthwith. Thank you. Mr. Executive Officer, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Thank you very much. Then this meeting of Monday, June 12th is adjourned. Have a great day, everyone.